You work so hard. You show up every day. You do what's expected of you. But deep down, you know the truth. One paycheck shouldn't decide how your life turns out. But what if your evenings meant progress? What if your weekends built freedom? What if your laptop became more than just a screen? This isn't about quitting your job. It's about giving yourself options. While others scroll, you start building. Quietly, consistently, and on your own terms. No pressure, no guessing. Just a clear system you can run after work, before work, or whenever life gives you a turn. That's what Goldmine on hustlesafrica.com is for.
Tuesday. Haikuzo. Makasi ni watafute uongozi pamoja wasitafute.
Kweli una maana gani? Una maana wewe ni binadamu ya mavi ya kuku.
Mashamba yetu harambe.
Nguruwe kujikanga na mafuta yake. Na Afrika itakwisha.
Padhani ya gosho. Ngai no mwega. Naende shode.
Wakati hiyo ilikuwa ukisema ngwe ndani. Ngwe.
I, Kithure Kindiki,
in full realization of the high calling, I assume as Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of Kenya, that I will obey, preserve, protect, and defend this Constitution of Kenya, as by law established, and all other laws of the Republic, and that I will protect and uphold the sovereignty, integrity, and dignity of the people of Kenya. So help me God.
Makieni tungikona kura one mwe ya Kasogo kana ya mundu wa Kasogo madaguthaitha we tugakurumirira na tugakuruta gwaku rungu roriri tondu no nginyagia tuige rekondi ya andu arĩa mara support mundu ucio gutire hende tugwitikira ati nowe Keri gathi ogwekire acoke maundu maria mothe atwikite nginya guturagira ciana tucoke tumu support we ungiga support mundu ugwetwo Kasogo kwaria horo ama ona ungigakwirwo tutigoka macakaya ona ungigathie kuracia tutigoka kugira mburi icio ugatwara Sugoi warwara urithiaga kunengerwo cana kuria Sugoi twi hamwe andu aitu.
We are with Vash. The pen, I don't know why it is. This guy is the one who has taken the pen away. Why is our pen? Wewe umeona pen sangapi hapa? Kuna pen hapa. Alright, anyway, it is time. Alright, hello there people of the internet. My name is Ruku and this is Political Headache coming to you at 7:30 from the City of Glasses in Nairobi County. Today I am at Tour Margarian. This guy is, ameamua kujificha. Umepita. Si unaona sasa huko na jamaa kuna pen anasumbua sisi anasema tuna pen.
Na mumenyamaza tu.
Bwana. Vash, do you really need this one? Ama it is?
Yes.
What is it that you want to write?
She just want to feel nice.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So people of the internet, we have a lot of things going on in the country. We have got a lot to speak about. We're going to be speaking about Oparanya. who wants to take the star away from Kithure Kindiki. I have got two lawyer men, three lawyer people actually in the room. This is very interesting, but this one is Nilot. Is a lawyer Nilot. You are a Kisa or you are what?
I'm Kisa.
But Kisas are Bantus, really?
Yes.
Every lawyer is a Bantu.
What do you mean?
Can you unaweza songesha hii karibu na wewe kabisa?
And we have proved across Africa.
Songa ndani kidogo. First you are a host. Sijui kwa nini unataka nikuambie vile unafaa ukae. Unajua sasa.
Hujazoea kukaa hapa katikati.
Hujazoea kukaa hapa katikati. Oh, very good. All right, that is good. So I have Mr. Mundalo, who has been missing in action. I want to start by saying, Mr. Mundalo, my condolences to your departed. You lost somebody that is very close in the family.
Yeah.
I want to say we are very, very sorry, and may the gentleman, rest in peace. But I'm hoping that you're doing well.
Thank you very much. I'm doing well, Jagero. I'm okay.
Yeah. And I am so sorry. It sounds like double tragedy because this is coming hot in the heels of your big loss in Ol Kalou, and and I'm so sorry about this. I'm so sorry about it because I don't think that we have spoken since you lost in Ol Kalou.
I don't know since who lost. I don't know why you are putting the loss of Ol Kalou on me. But actually, it's true. We haven't spoken since then.
Yeah.
But severally on this show, I kept saying that in Ol Kalou, the responsibility of a win was DCP's responsibility.
Okay.
And no one else, because it's them who have always claimed to be the kings. So it's them who needed to prove a point. So I think credit to them, they actually did prove their point, that they are quite in control of the mountain.
All right.
Yeah.
What is your... Well, you are controlling the mountain. That is very interesting. Have you not heard about Mount Kenya East and Mount Kenya West?
Of course, there is Mount Kenya East and Mount Kenya and the rest of Mount Kenya, Jagero.
Yeah.
But what they needed to confirm, and that's why for me Ol Kalou was very consequential for DCP.
Ol Kalou.
Remember, they had just lost in Mount Kenya East in Mbeere. And that showed that Professor Kithure Kindiki has some hold of Mount Kenya East, and that cannot be ignored. So Professor confirmed that he actually can control Mount Kenya East. Okay. He has some hold of it. What he needed to confirm to the rest of us in the political view is whether he can actually have full control of Mount Kenya. Now, he was not able to confirm that at Ol Kalou. So it was able to actually prove that, yes, Professor Kindiki has some hold of Mount Kenya East, but for the other part of Mount Kenya, probably Rigathi is ranking higher than him in that. But therefore, it also means that Rigathi has no super control of the entire mountain.
Okay.
He has this other part of the mountain, but Mount Kenya East is actually solidly behind Professor Kithure Kindiki, and of course the Rukus of this world and that. Yeah.
Wherever President William Ruto is he extremely bothered by the Ol Kalou fiasco or failure, so to speak? Or do you think that it was expected he wanted to push the envelope completely and see what we can actually garner? Because there are almost 7,000 people that voted against the other team. So he was coming at a strong 13% or thereabout.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were saying that, the 13% is probably the true story. And if His Excellency the President can get actually 13 or 15% from Mount Kenya West, then it is okay. He can use that and go to the rest of the country that loves him more, and probably give a very good showing come 2027. Do you think that is how you'll be looking at it?
I think President Ruto is quite a political operative that we cannot be able to underestimate. And I doubt that he was able to get the results of Ol Kalou after the election. I'm sure he got those results before the election. Yeah. I'm sure he's a consumer of intelligence, and he's also a serious political operative. So I think for him, in Ol Kalou, it was about him seeing how far can he push the mountain? Okay. What is the highest percentage? What can he really attain at the mountain, even with the knowledge that he's not fully in control of the mountain as it was in the last election. But it's about him knowing what are his chances, so that as they do their statistics, as they do their numbers, and even as they do their choices of who is the running mate of President Ruto, he needs to be almost sure of what position does he stand to gain, what percentage of vote does he stand to gain in the mountain. And I think that is what came out heavily with the Ol Kalou by-election. So he's able to know that this is the percentage that I'm starting off with. It can only get, in my view, it can only get higher, because there was also a lot of intimidation to the people of Ol Kalou that we must be able to tell in its reality. We saw letters that were flying around, and families being made to feel like if you don't go in this direction, then you are against the community. Yeah. So there was also a lot of intimidation in that regard. So if that intimidation is brought down to some level, then the percentage is more likely to increase.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's why you can be able to see the narrative that is being pushed more by the people allied to DCP, and that you've even just seen one of them being arrested yesterday, is that the narrative that they are pushing more is not an agenda-based narrative, but it's about telling people that anyone who is not with us is a betrayer. Anyone who is not with us is against the community. So that it is about inflaming the emotions of the people and not necessarily selling an agenda to the people, because they know that in the event that it's a contest of ideas, then their percentage cannot be that high. And so they are victimizing everyone, and that is purely against the democratic principles.
Okay.
That you don't victimize people who are opposed to you. You just sell your agenda better. And that is unfortunately even moving to other regions, and I'm seeing a lot of that starting to happen, that people want to victimize everyone who does not speak their language. Like, instead of persuading people better, instead of convincing people better, we now want to threaten each other politically, which is a dangerous direction.
Yeah, I totally agree about the same. I'm going to park Vashti for a moment, and also her counterpart, Mr. Joachim. I want to stay with welcome, Joachim, very much. I don't know what is going on with these glasses, bro. Why are you intimidating us? I mean, Wanjigi has not been announced the opposition leader of the United Opposition. So I'm wondering
he has a trip to Europe. He is rehearsing.
He has a trip to Europe.
He's rehearsing.
He has a trip to Europe. And we also have Vashti here, who is the host at Political Headache in the morning. I'm going to come back to them. But the president gave a speech the other day, and there was also the speech that was given by Sifuna on TV. And what did you think about the speech of the president? Talk to me about the communications team. This is a point we have belabored here with you, right?
Yeah. I think the speech of the president at that time, one thing it failed to achieve is the heat of the moment. There was an expectation that people had of what the speech would be about. And that's why the whole day people are busy waiting. And one thing I know is that because of the heat in the politics, people expected a highly political speech. People expected something like a reshuffle. People expected him to talk about the cabinet, to talk about the PSS, something that leads to an election. And for me, it was quite a step that the president stuck to his agenda and said, you know what, we are still talking about the development of the country. We are still talking about the vision of the country. We are still talking about why this country must be able to change for the better. Because the president has been very consistent in one thing, in telling us that this country must be able to develop in our time. He has taken off the radar from the normal politics, where it's always politics day in, day out. He has stuck to his gun that even when the political temperatures go high, he is still stuck to saying, you know what, my main agenda is to see this country transformed. And that is what was able to really come out in his speech on that day. So yes, it ran out of the rail of expectation. Because expectation was political. Today, Jagero, every time the president would want to speak, we want to expect politics, not governance. On that day, he is still stuck to governance, not politics. And that's why most political commentators think that the speech did not necessarily meet the floweriness that they expected it to have. But for me, I look at it like a man on a mission who has decided that he's stuck to that mission, whether the politics boils highly or comes low. Remember, it was just after the Sifuna rallies in Western Kenya. So we all expected him to talk politics.
It was actually, for me, after Sifuna's TV interview that did not go well, according to a lot of people. His supporters were very disappointed. The people that do not like Sifuna as a person and as a political person that is going against the president were extremely elated about the dismal performance. And then effectively people were saying that Ruto, when this Cephas negative fire was going on, it was booming, Ruto basically took a blanket and covered it with his own speech. And everybody was like, okay, Sifuna's was bad, but this is terrible.
You know, Jagero, the burden of responsibility is always the hardest thing to sell. And that's why everywhere, most of the time in politics, the person who is considered a good speaker and a good debater is always the person in the opposition, because there is no burden of responsibility. All you have to do is go on air and blame people and blame things, and then you look nice.
Okay.
It is even better when you are a senator, because you have no burden of responsibility. There is literally nothing that people expect from a senator. And so you'll always look good. Show me any senator, Jagero, who looks bad. There is none. All senators always look good. That was what Sakaja was when he was senator.
Come to think
because
about
the
it,
burden of responsibility is not there.
Yeah.
And that's why every time Sifuna has always looked very nice, because there is no burden of responsibility. The reason why that interview people felt that he performed badly is not because he performed badly per se. It's just because that's who he is. They have just never looked at it deeply, because when now he now has a higher calling.
Okay.
Yeah, he has now a higher acceptability among the people, and the people are feeling like this person can be our alternative.
Yeah.
And so when they sit to listen to him today, they are listening to him differently. They are not listening to him
because now you are not going against the president. Now you are not running around with a governor across the road to catch them by.
Yeah.
Now we want you to sit where Ruto is.
Yeah.
And so when you become Ruto,
we want you to show us the country as it ought to be under your hands. That is different from when we are watching you on Citizen Daybreak, and all you need to do is to throw jibes at Khalwale.
Yeah.
And then you look nice.
Okay.
And then you say someone's point is little. Okay. And then you look nice. Now, this time round, people are seated and asking themselves, now, they want to hear your foreign policy. They want to hear your stand on education. They want to hear what you want to say about healthcare.
Okay.
They want to hear what are your alternatives when you talk about affordable housing. So if it's not good, then what is your alternative? And now when they get there, things become difficult. And that's why my brother runs to say that the reason it's bad is because chicken cannot go to 12th floor. Now, such things become things that people feel like, no, that's not what we expect from you. Because the burden of, to whom much is given, much is actually expected. And so the people, and some people have actually given much to Honorable Sifuna, and that's why they expect a lot from him. If he did that interview, Jagero, without him having the clout that he has now, nobody would be saying he performed dismally.
People would give it a thumbs up.
Because one, the attention would not be there.
The attention will not be there.
The attention will not be as much as it was now. But because there is a lot of expectation from him, that's why they feel like, wait a minute, is it just hot air? Is it just another hot air balloon that we are being treated to? It's because the expectation that they have of him is high, and I think he needs to realize that. And two, he is starting to sound more like Ndindi Nyoro, where people feel like you are not giving us clear direction. You remember at some point, Ndindi was very popular, and people felt like he's one of those people who can be preferred even for president. But where did they depart from him? They departed from him when they realized, wait a minute, you have talked about the finance bill, but you have fashioned yourself as a serious economist. So it's unfortunate when we learn that what you are saying is actually not in the bill. They would forgive every other person for saying that. Trust me, they would not be mad at Oscar Sudi if he said something that was not in the bill. Yeah. They wouldn't be mad, because they don't have that burden of expectation from him, but they expect more from Ndindi. It was worse that you didn't even vote, and that's why they depart from him. And then when they ask for direction, they're not seeing him. He's not saying he's in which party and where is he leading the people. Yeah. Now, Sifuna is almost finding himself in that shoe, and I hope he skips out of it early enough. Okay. Because the people are burdened, and they're saying, are you running for president? And then he's telling them, we have so many Sifunas, and any of us can actually run for president. So it's more or less you are hiding somewhere. You're not giving us clarity. Okay. Yet the people want clarity. They want clarity of whether we are running. They want clarity of which one is our political party. They want clarity of what's our vision. They want clarity of what are we going to do different from President Ruto. That's the clarity they seek. And that clarity, unfortunately, he needs to know that it will not be answered by saying there are too many of us who are Sifunas. Okay. Two, it will not be answered by the preamble of the Constitution. Yeah. I think people are expecting much more than that.
Exactly. So I want to go to Mr. Joachim. I don't know whether to do the gender thing. the gender thing. I want, the reason why I want to go to, let me first come closer, please.
Go to Vash.
Because you see, the reason why I don't want to go to Vash first is because Vash has been squeezing this Sifuna orange for a long time in our show in the morning. So I don't think I should be talking to her about it. I wanted to go to Joachim because Joachim, but before I go to Joachim, we want to play the video where the gentleman is marooned inside Citizen. I think he's marooned inside there, and he actually gives us a small press conference, right? I think that is video number 4, them marooned at Citizen. You have it? Yeah. So this is the video of the gentleman that has been that actually was telling people that he will be smoking them out of from under their beds should they vote for Ruto, right?
You need to go to just and see a serious
man. But you can't go without the summons.
And they forward it to DPP.
No problem. Let it be summoned.
But are we going
No summon. You cannot bring me men in black cover and you expect me to.
Don't worry.
No,
he's a good man.
Sasa kwa sababu utakaa hapa mpaka saa ngapi?
No, kwa hawa jamaa wa black cover wasiwezi enda.
Black cover ndio shida my friend.
These are goons.
They are not goons. Mimi naenda na wewe.
They are goons.
Kuja kwa gari yako.
Enda na wish. Yes, enda DCI. We are colleagues. Let's just carry this guy.
Yeah, please.
Take with the DCI. Please.
We're happy to do it right away.
Just 1 second.
Yeah, please.
So, well, I was here yesterday night and I was having a show at Kirerembe, and when I completed the Kirerembe show, I was informed that there were men searching for me at the gate, and when some of the Royal Media staff checked at the gate, there were in fact dozens of Subaru cars with hooded, masked, armed men. And that, of course, was a bit alarming, considering that if there was any arrests that should be executed on me as a person, legally, there should be summons, there should be orders, and then this should also be done legally and constitutionally.
So, Vash, I want to go to you. What do you think about this issue of the gentleman who was telling people, Kaguchia, who was telling people that people should actually be smoked from under their beds should they vote for President Ruto?
I think it's very unfortunate that we are having such issues, especially because we are having the 2027 election next year. And the tribal narrative that has been going around the country, haijaanza na ni yeye tu ndio ako na hii mambo ya political intolerance. Okay. Because now he was telling people, if you are not going to vote for the person that we want, you will be smoked out of your bed. Na tukiangalia 2007, this is the same thing that happened in 2007. If you look at Arab Sang, he was also accused of doing this, even though the video evidence of his incitement haikupatikana during his case at The Hague. But ethnic incitement and telling people that if you don't vote for the person that we want, that's how violence starts. And if we are not careful as a country, that's where we are going. And Kaguchia is not the only person that has been propagating political intolerance in our country. I think there was a time where Omar Hassan, the SG of UDA party, was also accused of a tribal narrative when they were doing a tour in the coast with President Ruto. He stood and said, he was talking about land issues. Mambo ya madoadoa, watu wenye si wa hapa hivi itabidi wamerudi huko kwao, something along those lines. Yeah, I'm not saying alisema hivyo exactly, but something along those lines. And the opposition walikuja wakaongelea wakasema it's a very big thing, we should not be like that. Duale the other day said something along tribal lines, and the opposition came out and said, oh, we will not tolerate this. But this person mwenye amesema saizi, I'm not seeing the opposition coming out as strong as I imagine they are supposed to come out and condemn sababu hata tukisema it's just politics, it is not. At the end of the day, political incitement, the way inaleta violence, we have to be very careful with what we say. Unaweza sema hivyo kidogo mtu aseme yes, Jagero is not going to vote for our person, he is a traitor. Next thing we know, ni hivyo ndio Jagero umeenda ukauliwa. So it's very unfortunate.
Mr. Mondalo, there is a situation here, because actually I think that even though people have been talking about political rhetorics and this violence and putting violence in front of us as the people of this country, I think that at some point this what we are seeing today has actually sort of crossed that line, because it gives vibes of 2207, where actually, because I imagining what this gentleman said on Mount Kenya, and I can imagine a Kalenjin saying it in Molo, or in Eldoret. I think the guy, even though he might not, I don't know whether he means it. Does he actually mean it? Ama is threatening people? And does he understand that he is a leader, and actually the things that he might be saying in jest can actually just land as what people really want to do?
Jagero, I've told you that what is happening today in Kenya is that most politicians have failed to run on an agenda. They have failed to run on an idea, and idealism is actually one of the hardest things today. And that is why it is so hard to compete President Ruto in regard to measurable deliverables. Because in reality, when you look at the things that he is doing, you will find someone in Mount Kenya who Shah has worked for. You will find someone in Mount Kenya that has received the subsidized fertilizer. You will find someone in that same Mount Kenya who is actually paying for the affordable housing. So it has become a very difficult thing to actually do, running on a campaign against him in regard to the clarity of an agenda. And that's why people are now coming down to narrative selling. That's why I told you in Ol Kalou, one of the things that was being done is to threaten people that if you don't vote this way, then you are against the community. So we are now threatening people and victimizing them instead of persuading them to join us in the path that we want to do. And that is why these things are being learned from, of course, their leader, who has done this over and over again. Because Rigathi Gachagua has not started doing this yesterday. He has continued to move campaigns in terms of ethnic incitement of the people. And people like Kagushia are simply following suit from him. But now, for me, the person and the burden of responsibility, we need to look NCIC straight into the eyes and tell them that they have a responsibility equal to IEBC as we move towards the 2027 election. Because Bishop Kithure Omai, Bishop Kithure Omai, who is the current chair of the NCIC, is someone whose capacity I want to believe, I trust, because he has been able to, he is a man of the clergy, he's a man of the cloth, he's been a bishop for a long time, and is now the chair of the NCIC. He must be able to understand that this country, the responsibility that is on the chair of the IEBC is equal to the responsibility that is with him. Because we can't continue just having these as political rhetoric that just goes away. Because politicians have the bad manners, Jagero, of when the statement is said by a person who is on our side, then it has been misunderstood. And that's why you look, and today they would want to tell you that you have misunderstood Kagushia. You look at it, and instead of Rigathi Gachagua going out to say that was wrong, he's saying, no, that is selective whatever. There is something he said about that. And this political intolerance is getting down to the people. When Honorable Sifuna was in Bungoma the other day and did a massive rally, someone fired hotel workers because they appeared to be chanting. I don't know whether you saw that, Joachim. That because hotel workers have come out and they appeared to be chanting to the convoy of Sifuna that was passing, someone thinks you should fire someone because of that. That is political intolerance in my view. Just because you do not like Sifuna, or just because you think he's not your candidate or anything like that, doesn't make you think that when people work for you, they must not jump up when he is passing. The same political intolerance is the reason why the other day, after the rallies, Didmas Baraza was having a meeting in Kimilili and with his own people. And people are able to storm that meeting and start beating people off and saying, you know what, in this area we cannot be able to be having this kind. That is political intolerance. We must be able to be a country that persuades each other by the depth of our ideas. But then the NCIC has to act swiftly. We must be able to see these summons. It cannot just be about press conferences.
I want to ask you a question on the Cohesion Commission, yeah?
Yeah.
Because when people of the internet, you've looked at those the video of them where we usually take tea over there at cafe.
Yeah.
You could see it was marooned by the police, and they were waiting for him to actually jump out of Citizen before they can snatch him down at Dennis Pritt Road.
Yeah.
He was at cafe?
No.
They were waiting for him
around the entire place.
Yeah, he was inside Citizen.
He was inside Citizen, yeah.
He had been called to go and say what?
I don't know.
After an interview.
I think he had run there to put sort of. By the way, they are saying that the glass is blocking you, so you can put it on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
So
anyway, I want to because even the Sifuna party has not condemned what they said, and it is very interesting that they don't, and I don't expect them to
condemn what?
Condemn what Kagusha said.
Why should you give it live?
Well, but Kalonzo has. I strongly condemn the arbitrary arrest of Mukurweini MP, Honorable John Kagusha, over his public remarks. Now listen to Kalonzo's statement, which is very, very, very interesting, by the way. I don't know who's, well, let me read it. Let me be clear, we do not support incitement. Okay? From anyone. Every leader has a duty to protect peace or to respect the rule of law. They are not condemning this gentleman. The Constitution guarantees every Kenyan freedom of expression. The law must be applied fairly, not selectively. Yet, he rushes. He rushes so fast into saying Ruto's regime said shoot to kill. So what?
It is very hypocritical.
Yeah,
that's the unfortunate reality.
Yeah, so first of all, I want to ask Joachim, and he's saying, Joachim, I think you should do better.
What have I done?
Were you not the person that was shouting at the top of your lungs when they were saying that gentleman was calling Kikuyus hyenas? Now suddenly you are quiet.
No, did I really shout? You see, I approach things from a very like from a very informed point of view.
Okay.
Let's begin from Duale.
Okay.
Calling a whole community hyenas.
Okay.
We want a country where if an individual has done something wrong, you are free to attack that individual. Aden Duale had all the time to attack Gachagua if he feels that what Gachagua is doing is not what he would like to be done. But generalizing a whole community, that is wrong. Even if I stand here and talk about a particular community in a derogative manner, it doesn't matter who, whether you are in opposition or in government. And that's why I want to take a very interesting position on what Kagusha said. Personally, I don't like Kagusha.
Okay, why?
Kagusha, just because he's joined one term doesn't make him a different person.
Okay. Do you know more about him? Please tell the people of the internet.
You remember when he used to appear on TV defending William Ruto, debating against Edwin Sifuna?
Yes. Okay.
You remember how he used to flop in debates? Actually, one of the very famous clips that Sifuna has ever had is when he was flying Kagusha. His reasoning.
His point is literal.
Yes, when he was saying, Kagusha was complaining that Sifuna was belittling his point.
Okay.
But Sifuna was telling him, no one belittles a point. Your point is just little.
Okay.
You don't expect such a person to now start making sense just because he has changed political affiliation. So when I stand and say, wewe usipopiga one term tutakutoa, what is it? The job I have as a proponent of one term is to explain to the people what life will be like when they vote for one term. How different will it be? What are the things that we are voting against in the next election, and what are the things that we are voting for? You do not threaten people with beating them. And I do not subscribe to this kind of politics. You see, no. Hii maneno ya Kagusha. So, and when it comes to arrests, we all know that arrest will lead to nothing. it's a showbiz. Just the way there was no arrest when Aden Duale said people are like hyenas. And I don't think that's anything to actually pay attention to. Because paying attention to such a thing is to make it important for nothing. Because I think we have gone beyond that kind of politics that we should play. The politics that we should play, it should be a competition of ideas. And that's what we are doing today. That what are you offering as a solution? And let me bring mine. Let it be a competition of razor sharp minds. So when you bring in people who cannot catch up to the bar, they introduce their own level into the game. And we do not want these people to introduce their own levels into this game. We have taken this game so high, so that when you appear on a platform like this to speak on behalf of your political affiliation, it's about solutions to what we are going through as the Kenyan people. Let us not... people are thinking, I wonder why they went to school. Because how can you go to school and fail to reason like a gentleman? And therefore, all I want to say today is there is more. If someone thinks that they are going to play politics just the way they are used to, then they are led for class.
Yeah, okay.
Things changed a long time ago.
Anyway, Mr. Rigathi Gachagua is celebrating on social media 1 hour ago. The High Court of Kenya has ordered the immediate release of Honorable John Kagusha from police custody upon the payment of the police cash bail of 100,000. He further celebrates thus the OCS of Kamkunji police station is being misled by his seniors into ignoring the court order, which has already been served upon him, and continuing to detain Honorable John Kagusha. My advice to the OCS is to obey the court order, and he will be held personally liable for contempt of court. When that time comes, his seniors will be nowhere to be found when he's cited for contempt. He must remember that his colleagues, the OCS of Central Police Station, is still in remand, prison, and so on and so forth. But that is one thing altogether. But he's also speaking the language of actually is Kalonzo Musyoka. The use of the criminal justice system to manage politics is synonymous with outgoing cowardly regimes.
But you see, if there is a court order for a person to be released, it doesn't matter how you think about what they did.
Yeah, that is okay. I'm just saying that he's celebrating that he's been released, but I'm also telling I'm going back to his statement, where he's saying that all this is selective application of the law. It's counterproductive. I thought this lost regime should be reminded. Gachagua is not in any way condemning what this gentleman said, but he was insisting that Duale has to go to be ordered.
I think
so. These are your people. Your party leader was your party was the other day.
You see.
So
don't cast blanket condemnation.
Okay.
I do not think I'm here to speak on behalf of people that I've never met. People I don't know.
But isn't that the point, though?
People I don't know
Mbona kama the SG of Sifuna party, why haven't you condemned that act as the SG? Because you are the
SG,
spokesperson of
are you going to condemn?
Or are you?
So let me ask you.
Yeah.
So I was supposed to condemn, then what?
I mean, condemnation is just condemnation.
I think I can give that response.
Yes, we strongly disagree with the utterances of Gachagua.
Haven't I said that here?
Yes.
Officially,
as the party.
So this is unofficial, eh?
This. Okay. Anyway, you are deflecting.
Yeah.
But let me go back to this gentleman. He has got something to say.
Yes. You see, I actually wanted to tell Joachim that he said we must not pay attention to such kind of things.
Yeah.
And I want to tell him that we actually must pay attention to such kind of things. The reason why his Sifuna party agenda of debt is not selling enough in the country is because we have allowed a lot of other things to thrive. An agenda cannot sell when stupidity is thriving. Now, when we allow such kind of stupid things to thrive, then the people who have a real agenda, their voice cannot be heard. And that's why it's very, very important that when such things happen, all voices, everyone with a voice must come out and speak against it. And that's why we must be able to give Sifuna that burden of responsibility and say, you as a political party, we will know what you stand for by what you say about such kind of things. As the Secretary General of the party, we expect a statement that condemns this, because the more the condemnation of this, the more the country understands that it is not business as usual. But when we keep quiet, we allow it thrive, and then it goes on and on and on. And on the statement that you just read about what Rigathi says and celebrating the court order.
Yeah.
Rigathi Gachagua must decide whether he trusts the courts or not.
Yeah.
Because it cannot be that when courts make decisions that are not palatable for you, then the courts are captured. But when they make a decision that looks favorable to you, then it's a decision to be celebrated. We must be able to run away from this politics of it is good when it works for me and it's bad when it doesn't work for me. And that hypocrisy is the problem that we're having as a country.
Yeah,
and that's why, rightfully as you put it, you see that this is a bad statement that has been made, but all leaders from the so-called united opposition, none of them is willing to come out and say this is wrong. They want to say, no, you see... they
are actually all using a very badly cropped image of the gentleman, laughing in a good quote and in a
exactly.
very nice style.
Making it extremely... So they want us, instead of condemning the instance and speaking to it in its reality, they want to look for ways to justify it. They want to say it is selective application of the law. Okay, fine. Selective or not selective, is it right or wrong? That's what we should be discussing. That this is the statement. Can we all be able to say that this is wrong? And then also look for what Duale said and also say it is wrong.
Yeah.
And also look for what the other one said and say it is wrong. And look at the institution that we have mandated, which is the NCIC. Because, Jagero, I'm very insistent on NCIC because sometimes we do this. We do this, Jagero. We spend a lot of time speaking about these issues.
Just a moment.
Speaking about these issues, blaming each other, getting annoyed about these issues, and yet we forget the critical mass of people and institutions that we pay to actually take care of such matters. The NCIC is an independent institution.
I don't know. Let's check. Even Sifuna himself, who is the preamble, the Constitution, I don't know whether he has talked about, because this goes to the very heart of the Constitution. And I'm especially very disappointed with my friend Mr. Joachim and his party, because all of them are very wishy-washy.
All of them are the same, Jagger. All these united opposition people.
You realize that there are things we don't say, we don't comment about, we behave like they don't exist.
Why?
Because that is our plan. You see, it is not as easy as you think. Let me ask you.
Okay.
So if you condemn courts today, then something happens and you need courts tomorrow. Then what happens?
No, we are not talking about condemning courts.
For example.
So are you being convenient thinkers?
No, I'm just going
because that means,
to what you say.
Yeah.
Because
no, we are not talking about condemnation of courts.
No.
Yeah.
I'm responding to what Mundalo said.
Okay.
Pursuant to what Regije said.
Okay.
He said that when courts make a declaration that is favorable to you, courts are good. When they do something that you are not okay with, then it's selective justice. Isn't that what he said? So I'm saying, in response to these matters, it needs introspection. We might not have made a statement today because we are still introspecting on how best do you respond to it tomorrow.
Joachim,
you understand?
Joachim,
what is there to introspect?
Joachim, you guys cannot behave as if you live in this country, but you want to rule this country.
And what he's saying is what Joachim is actually saying is that they are practicing convenient politics.
Yeah.
That we want nobody to be our enemy because we don't know what the future holds.
Yeah.
That simply means that we don't want to actually stand on any ground on anything.
Yeah.
Because you must be able to come out and say
true.
That is actually true. Because
you come on this podcast and step on everyone's toes, even in the opposition.
You have said it yourself, Joachim, that you don't want to respond on courts.
That
exactly, and that is what I'm talking about.
On matters that concern
So
our
the court
agenda.
So every matter
I
should
have come
concern
here.
you because you want to be president.
When people are being smoked from under their beds,
is that a matter that concerns Sifuna?
Who are you going to help with your debt issue when everybody else has been killed from under their beds?
Killed by who?
I mean, yes. And they're saying they're going to smoke them from under beds.
Yes.
So who are you going to rule and tell those?
So are they going to rule? The person who is going to smoke people under their beds? Are they going to rule?
Yes, they have they have the chance to rule.
Yes. So that chance depends on what?
It depends on the people.
Yeah.
So if they rule, then whose problem is it?
Okay, so Sifuna,
let me ask.
It goes back to what I'm telling you, Jagero.
Those derogatory statements.
Okay.
Without getting into power.
Okay.
And actually people go ahead and give them the power.
Okay. Yeah.
Why should they be surprised when people get smoked from their beds?
Okay.
So this is actually a precursor of what can happen. So it calls upon the people to think that as we vote, what are the most possible repercussions?
Okay.
So and this is what I have said on this podcast, time without number.
Yes, and our problem that you are very elitist in the way you are treating this politics. That
it is actually not elitist, Jagero.
It is what?
It is convenient thinking.
It is convenient
because
thinking.
What he is doing is that you want to avoid certain things just because you want to be in a position to benefit in future, just in case. So what you're saying that if Wanjigi were to come out strongly today and castigate this gentleman, then he's going against the grain. Yeah, he's going against the grain, and they want to continue.
What grain?
You remember, this is a gentleman who does not want to read very far from the script of Rigathi Gachagua. You can be able to see that the party leader, Joachim's party leader, also has a party leader.
Joachim's party leader also has a party leader.
Exactly. Because
so Wanjigi is a party leader, but he also has Wamunyoro as the party leader.
Exactly. You'll be able to see in politics, optics is very, very important.
I try to be very respectful here.
Okay.
And
somebody's crossing the red line.
You are stepping on lines that I will not let you.
No, we will step on them because there is no one who cannot be discussed.
Okay.
You've never seen me be disrespectful here.
Okay.
And you do not want to see me.
Who is disrespectful towards you?
So is that a question you are going to ask?
No. I mean,
which part of that is disrespectful?
Can we put things in black and white if that's what you want?
Look.
What he's saying. What he's saying, so that you disagree with it properly, having understood what he's saying. He's saying that even though Wanjigi is the party leader of Sifuna party, but he thinks that Wanjigi has got his boss, and that boss is Wamunyoro. Yes, therefore he's a party leader, but he's just a sub. It's a sub. So there is a big party leader. That's what he's saying. So disagree with it.
Are we a subsidiary of DCP?
So I can prosecute my point, and then he can disagree.
He's angry.
But he can disagree after I prosecute my point. He can disagree. He has that's why it's a democracy.
I am not angry.
Okay.
If I got angry, this show will be over.
No, it cannot.
I can tell you.
No, it cannot. It cannot be over. Don't threaten us. It cannot be over. Don't threaten us.
You know, the other day somebody actually told me that that I didn't know that Joachim used to be a goon. Nikamuuliza asijui. But he told you that he used to run into the maize plantation after.
So which means that we don't really know people.
Okay.
When I come on this podcast, I want us to discuss issues.
Okay.
The things my brother is trying to introduce to look good in the eyes of SGU, to look whichever in the people he believes are watching.
Okay.
I am not going to go that direction.
But you can simply say that you guys are self-sufficient. You don't answer to anybody. Not to endele.
No. But why should we go that direction?
And they can't gag us from our opinion, Jagero.
Yeah, but
because on this show we discuss President William Ruto. We discuss everybody.
Actually,
Wanjigi has come out to say he wants to run for president, and therefore he must be discussed and he will be audited by the public.
Yes.
The same way he talks about William Ruto and says what he believes is not true. And so we will be able to speak.
I mean,
we will talk about Wanjigi.
Why do you think you are special?
Yeah. Even if it puts anyone's salary on the line, we will talk about him.
His salary is on the line.
Even if, maybe Vash. Because the truth is that you can't be able to say you want to lead the country.
Yeah.
But the institutions you can't talk about. Because this country has the judiciary. It's there. You must know what is your stand about justice.
Okay.
This country has the education sector. This country has the executive. It has the parliament. We have often said here, and he has said it, that parliament is captured.
Yes.
So we must be able to know what is their stand, because this is a parliamentarian who is speaking.
We must ask whether Sifuna party is captured.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that does not mean, and that is not disrespectful. Yeah. And that's why I told you, Jagero, that every time the burden of responsibility is on your shoe, the debate will always become hard.
Okay.
It is easy to blame others and talk about others and say every wrong thing about them. But when the burden of responsibility comes on your shoe, you start thinking that it's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Because we are just saying you lead a political party.
Yeah.
What is your burden of responsibility in the utterances of these people who are that are making?
Yeah.
You can't tell us that, you see, we play safe and so we don't want to discuss that. And we're not saying it's just about Kagushia. Even what was the stand in the others.
And it is very interesting, and why everybody in the united opposition is suddenly coming to the rescue of this gentleman. I mean, they have picked a very nice picture of his that he took, I don't know where, and they're now posting him. He's in a very nice suit and smiling and
laughing. Why are you talking to me as if I am the one who did that?
No, you are a Secretary General, Joaquin. You have a burden of responsibility because you hold a substantive office.
You have written a book about the Rwandan genocide.
Yeah.
You can tell us, because wewe unajua the history of how walifika mali walifika.
And I already told Mundalo that most of the time when these people are making jest and making fun on stages like because this guy was surrounded by DCP hats. If you saw there, it was green. It was all over. The thing is that one of the things that leaders fail to understand is that these people believe in them. There is a lot of belief that citizens bestow upon the people that they have elected. Okay? And so you can go to a stage and say that you'll smoke people from their beds. You think it is a joke. They actually believe you. Yeah. And are actually taking that thing as a statement of truth and as a statement of instruction. That if we know that somebody is going to be voting for William Ruto, then they're actually going to be banned, being smoked from their beds. And that is, and you see, they can say, okay, we are going to be killing your cows because you voted for Ruto. We are going to be, doing anything bad to you because you are not going to be even siagaing in my portion meal because you actually voted for William Ruto. And I think that is the problem that we are having as a country. Because the issue is, if Gachagua and co believe that they are selling a proper agenda that can actually send William Ruto home. Exactly. And there is no need of gagging other people and telling other people, because
or threatening them.
Yes, if you are saying that Vash, okay, Ruto is that bad that he should actually go home, then Vash should be able to see it. You shouldn't be able to tell me that Ruto is that bad to the point that if you vote for him, then we are going to smoke you out. All right, and I think it's a very bad way, because it's not just even Badi has been saying those things in Lowland. All right, and it is really wrong, and it should be called out for those kind of things. And that is why I am saying that that there is some quietness, that now tunapimana nguvu. And I don't like the dishonesty of this gentleman today, Mr. Because
what have I done?
You know what he usually does when CS Interior Murkomen came out and complained that everybody has goons. He said that CS Murkomen is not the leader of a civil society that should come out and tell us that, look, goons are everywhere. And Joachim said, so that we can do what? Okay, so then when Rigathi is telling us that that everybody is speaking badly, so that we do what as people? Because that's exactly the same thing.
So actually, you are just taking us back to what I said. So when we have something going wrong in society today,
okay,
whose responsibility is it to make it right?
Okay.
Let me say, for example, you've broken the law. do you come and ask Sifuna what are they doing about the person who broke the law? No. You ask about the people who are now with the responsibility. As we will just say, that's not how it should be done. We will do it differently. But there's something in office, someone in office, who is actually responsible. Each day as we give our taxes, it's going to pay their salary.
Yeah.
So why are we diverting attention?
But that is exactly what the government did by going to arrest him. But you have
I condemned the government?
One of your party leaders. No, I'm not saying your party. No, I'm not saying your party.
Let me tell you.
Yes.
If Jimmy made a statement, ask me.
Okay.
Yes. If you want to know what Gachagua said, itamutu wa DCP.
Okay.
Yes. So don't tell me one of your party leaders. I'm not a member of so many parties.
Okay.
Yes. ORPP reads my name as the Secretary General of Sifuna. So ask me about Jimmy's statement.
Okay.
Yes. We have to make that very clear here.
Yeah, but what do you feel about Mr. Kalonzo Musyoka going out and defending the gentleman that spoke those words? Your friend in politics, Mr. Gachagua, defending him. What do you feel? Okay, guys, I want to bring Vash into this conversation. How do we move from here? I think as we go to other conversations that are happening today, how do we move from here?
As I've said earlier, it is very hypocritical of the united opposition, the opposition in general, to not condemn what has been happening. Ikifika ile time ya Duale nilisikia wakiongea kabisa mpaka the Kirinyaga governor alicondemn. Everyone was condemning. In this country, how politics is done. Just the other day Ngugi alisema something about Linda Mwananchi not having a plan, an agenda. People from Linda Mwananchi walikasirika wakakama out wakasema no, you cannot be saying that about our people. You see,
Mpaka she was forced to apologize.
Yes, people just watu wanataka tu kusema Ruto ni mbaya ama Gachagua ni mbaya or the other person. But now ikifika ni kwenyu, you do not want to also take the responsibility ya criticism. Ni amwezi kwa you are just doing criticism, but amdaki criticism on you. So it is very hypocritical. Mimi saizi hakuna kitu Gachagua anaweza niambia nisikie. All those people who are moral sijui nini, they cannot tell me anything and I hear them because as a country we can see tunaishi kwa hii nchi. The things that Kagushe is saying ni vitu wenye watu wana feel, the political intolerance. It has happened not just now in 2007. Hizi ndio vitu zenye zilifanyika 2007 na watu ikaenda and I think people forget what happened. Na inafaa tuwakumbushe what had happened mpaka saizi so that your responsibility, people like Joachim, they have a social contract with the people. Being a political party, it's a public entity. They have a social contract and a social responsibility to come out and condemn, but they are not doing that because it is not convenient to them. Watakuja tu waseme when Duale is saying hyenas, and I'm not saying because maybe.
Let me ask you, did you hear us say anything about hyenas?
Saying,
No. Why didn't you ask me?
It's an example.
Yeah, and
so
can she finish her trail of thought?
Yeah, you
have to be in his words.
Jagero, you did not ask me.
Okay.
Why I did not talk about?
But can we allow her to finish?
No, say
we must allow her finish.
But you took off. In fact, during Duale's conversation, you were never seen here. I don't remember.
You asked him about Sifuna's speech. It was made
last
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, no.
Or 1 week ago.
Last week on Tuesday.
Yeah, which means that you can even ask about what happened last year today.
But
you didn't ask me.
Can the lady finish?
You actually feel that you guys have not done anything wrong by not condemning this issue.
Why should we be condemned for not condemning? We have been condemned for not condemning.
So you guys mna roll with
Jagero. I have you see, if what I'm saying today is contrary with what I have always said, then you can hold me accountable. I have always said,
people who don't vote.
You see, these things that are being said here are what breaks countries.
Okay. Yes. That you are talking. You are now talking.
And I have
now make it official
everywhere.
Now make it official.
Nitakasirika vibaya sana.
Okay. Anyway, I think that was a political temperature, and I think we are going to move on. I think you've heard us. We would encourage Sifuna Party to be removing statements.
It is like saying, Jagero, it is like saying, people, the worst person, the one who is worse than the one who votes in a bad leader is the one who doesn't vote.
Yeah.
And that is the
Actually,
same situation.
somebody told me that the people that won the elections of 2022 are the 8 million that never voted.
That never voted. Who never took a position. Who never took a position on anything. And that's what Sifuna is saying about political intolerance. That we will take no position. And which that is actually worse than the people who take the position to actually be politically intolerant.
Exactly. So today we had something going on at the Azimio headquarters. I don't know where it was. I want us to play the video for Karoli Omondi. Karoli Omondi is speaking, right? We have Karoli Omondi. Yeah, Karoli Omondi. And
that was what time?
That was today. Today, just 2 hours ago.
2 hours?
2 hours ago, yes. Yes, Karoli Omondi has spoken from his heart about this issue.
It is my duty now to communicate to the public the decisions made by the Azimio Council at their meeting this afternoon. 1, the Council resolved to reorganize the party structures, the various organs of the party, as well as to move forward with the rebranding of the Azimio coalition. Secondly, the council made a decision to admit 2 new members into its ranks. That is His Excellency Fred Matiang'i, the Honorable former Governor, His Excellency Peter Munya, and Honorable Senator Lenny Kivuti to become the new council members. So there are 3 new members to the council. And thirdly, the council also made a decision to invite one of our founding members, DAP Kenya Party, to rejoin the coalition. And subject to their internal processes, the party leader, His Excellency Honorable Eugene Wamalwa, is here. He has confirmed they will be doing so. And finally, the council resolved to invite Umoja na Maendeleo Party, PDP Party, and the Democratic Party to become members of the coalition. And their respective party leaders are here, and they have also confirmed that subject to their internal processes, they will be joining the Azimio coalition.
Oh, okay. So now I don't know how do we start talking about this issue, because Mr. Mundalo.
Yeah.
So we have His Excellency the President Dr. William Samoei Ruto trying to capture the second term. This is where we are. But we have Sifuna pelting stones at him, and we have, Mr. Wamunyoro also lobbing his measure of tear gas or whatever it is towards him. Yeah. We have Matiang'i is also joining the fray. Does not like the president, does not want to be the president. And then we have Kalonzo Musyoka on the other side.
Yeah.
We have Linda Mwananchi and Sifuna on the other side. We have Maraga. Then we have outliers like Sifuna Party on the other side that's saying, no, sisi hiyo mambo yenu hatutaki kusikiza. All right? Then we have Uhuru Kenyatta, who is doing a comeback for what I don't understand. But then we have the speaker. I think he is the spokesperson of Linda Mwananchi, Mr. Karoli Omondi, also happens to be the spokesperson for Azimio la Umoja.
Yeah.
Where Uhuru Kenyatta is the chairman.
Yeah.
The party leader is Kalonzo Musyoka, who is also a party leader of Wiper.
Yeah.
But then again, we have resolved to reorganize and rebrand Azimio. They have welcomed Fred Matiang'i, they have welcomed Peter Munya and Leni Kivuti into the council and extended invitation to the Democratic Action Party of Kenya, led by Honorable Eugene Wamalwa. If you listen to that speech by Karoli Omondi, he's saying that Eugene has actually agreed to join.
Yeah.
There is Umoja wa Maendeleo Party, UMP, led by Governor Kawira Mwagaza, the People's Democratic Party, led by Omigo Magara, and the Democratic Party DP, led by JB Muturi. They are also inviting them to join the coalition. So, what is going on here? Because this
you don't know what is going on.
This is the most confusing thing I've seen.
So you don't know what is going on?
Yes. Do you want to go first, or should I?
Let him go. Let him go.
Joaquim.
Yeah.
What is going on is simple.
Okay.
It's the making of Kenyatta 3 government.
The making of Kenyatta 3 government.
Yeah. We had
3.
We
Yeah,
had
you're right.
Kenyatta 1, Kenyatta 2. So there is a reintroduction of Kenyatta 3.
Okay.
And as you can see from the response from the people, actually, is that cannot be the goal that the people are looking for. If we do that, then we are giving William Ruto fodder to work with. And he will just come and say, it's again dynasty is ganging up against me. So we can give him a continuity of his narrative that he used in 2022. So I do not think this is what people want.
Okay.
It's a crafting of Bwana Uhuru. And I do not know why. It is his BBI part 2.
And he's not electing, interestingly, to welcome DCP. Because DCP is not welcome. If you look at...
When you look at it keenly,
Jagero,
there are several things I realize from that press conference. The first realization I get from that press conference at Azimio is that Karoli Omondi speaks for Azimio and he speaks for the council.
Okay.
Exactly what he was against Sifuna doing in ODM. Because in ODM, he wanted Sifuna to speak his opinion, not the opinion of ODM.
Okay.
And he was insistent that the party must allow him continue speaking his opinion.
Okay.
But when he is SG, he's doing what an SG is supposed to do, speaking for the council. That is the first thing that I realized from there. 2, I highly realized that 2 very important factions of the united opposition are neither mentioned, either in passing or invited, and that is DCP.
Okay.
And I don't know that I had Martha Karua's PLP. I doubt I had that. So Martha Karua, who is quite a person...
The only one that is there is People's Democratic Party, PDP.
Yes. So Martha Karua and Rigathi Gachagua are missing out on this. And now when you look again keenly, you realize that the additions that are being made to that Azimio Council are politically insignificant except for Kawira Mwangaza. Because I want to ask what would be the importance of those other political parties inside that jargon. I don't see any. So what they are simply doing is flexing of egos and maintenance of egos, so that because you are our brother and you are a big boy and you are a party leader, we must be able to accommodate you on this table, not necessarily because of political significance. That is the council, because the SG speaks for the council, not necessarily for the chair. Now when you look again, you realize that they simply keep going back to the strategy that failed, but they are accepting to realize that Kenyans have come out and said everything else, but the one thing they have not said, I haven't seen Kenyans on the street demanding the return of Azimio. But that is what they are busy doing. That they are busy behaving as though Kenyans are eagerly waiting for something called the return of Azimio. And that's why they get the political strategy completely flat foot, and it will fail. And then you look at the people that they are assembling. Most of these leaders in the United Opposition, every time they want to speak about the Gen Z and all that. But every time they sit down in a room to craft their leadership, you don't see any Gen Z there. You don't see any young people there. So you look at that composition, and they still want to put together an assembly of old guards. And imagine that this assembly of old guards.
I'm seeing the lady from what is her name? The former leader of the Pentagon. She's there in those pictures. This lady, what is her name?
Who is that? Charity Ngilu.
Charity Ngilu.
So tell me, Jagero, how do you assemble a team to defeat William Ruto when 90% of you are in fact older than William Ruto? How do you assemble a team that is supposed to be speaking for young people, and it's supposed to be a new generational team, and it's supposed to carry the message of the Gen Z and the young people moving forward against President William Ruto, and all of you are older than William Ruto? When you look at that composition of those guys in Azimio alone, just the composition, it makes President William Ruto the youngest person who is then running for president.
But
automatically the person who resonates more with young people then becomes President Ruto, and not all these guys.
But the question I'm asking you is the confusion here.
Yeah.
On one hand, you see Kalonzo meeting with Matiang'i, and you see him going around for breakfast, taking tea, ginger tea with Wamunyoro.
Yeah.
But then he retreats again back and goes and looks for his sister, Charity Ngilu.
Yeah.
Wakuje wafanya na yeye press conference.
Yeah.
But then again,
and I'll tell you why, Jagero.
Yeah, and then again, they're saying, oh my God, what is...
The truth is that, Jagero...
Do you find it confusing to the people that are trying to vote anybody into government?
It is confusing, and there's a reason why it is like that, Jagero. All these people are uncomfortable with Rigathi Gachagua. All of them.
Okay.
But the only thing they fear is that he has political gravitas within the Mount Kenya region. So silently, all of them don't want him. But they can't officially speak against him because of the following he holds. And that's why they have to keep pretending to massage his ego so that they keep being a little bit together, because they know that when he deflects, he throws them under the fray. And that's why every time they come together, they want to come together as Kalonzo, Matiang'i, and all these things that they are calling the Azimio coalition without DCP. Because they know that DCP and Rigathi Gachagua carry a somehow realistic political weight. But they don't want someone who carries a realistic political weight. Because then when that person comes, he automatically becomes the bigger brother in that relationship. The moment you drop Rigathi Gachagua inside this Azimio, he becomes the bigger brother within them, and then he must lead them.
We also don't see another firebrand, that is Sifuna, in here.
Yeah.
So the question is, so get into the mind of Rigiji. When he sees Kalonzo Musyoka coming out with his sister Ngilu to make a press conference, what is he thinking? What are they doing? What does he think?
He is not politically naive, Jagero, and so he knows that these people would want a formula that can deliver them to Canaan without me. It's only that they cannot get it. It's only that they haven't gotten it. But in the event they can be able to get it, then they are actually willing to drop me off. And that's why they are betting it around Honorable Sifuna. In the event they want to realize that this one has the gravitas needed, then he is more palatable to them than Rigathi Gachagua. The only reason why all of them must keep entertaining Rigathi Gachagua is because of the political weight that he carries at this time. And they know that when he goes on and goes head on against you, it is very dangerous. And that's why they will keep pretending that they want to entertain him, but they actually don't. And Rigathi is not politically naive, so he also knows that.
So if I understand you correctly, and Vash, please help me understand this quagmire, is that, okay, Kalonzo Musyoka already knows that probably he's not sitting pretty, because before the emergence of Sifuna, all eyes were on him. But again, his star is dimming a little bit because of the rise of Sifuna. Okay, do you think that him retreating back towards Azimio in the manner in which he is, he's trying to consolidate himself? Probably when he collects, Joachim's uncle Eugene Wamalwa,
Is he my uncle?
he's your uncle from Kakamega, I don't know.
From Trans Nzoia.
From Trans Nzoia. So when he gets Joachim's uncle, Honorable Eugene Wamalwa, and gets a few other small people like Omingo Magara and small people like JB Muturi, right?
Yeah.
Who, by the way, is a lost person. So he's thinking that if I bring these small people, Joachim's uncle and so on and so forth, then I'll have a bigger thing, almost the size of what Rigiji is flaunting.
That is
but then that even makes my confusion even more compounded.
Yes.
Because then, what is Karoli Omondi doing here? Because he's supposed to be a man coming from a rising star. So why is he here?
Karoli Omondi Jagero is there, and the position given to him is that he's Secretary General. Why is he Secretary General? It is because of Azimio. Why is he Secretary General of Azimio? What gives him the legitimacy to be Secretary General of Azimio is because he is a member of ODM. Remember, Azimio party is a conglomeration of political parties. So each of those people inside there represents a political party.
Okay.
So for Karoli Omondi, he represents ODM. And before it is very long, it is possible that ODM might actually write a letter to withdraw him as their representative inside Azimio. And of course, that will become another jargon of a story. Because
now you are even opening a can of worms.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we didn't see ODM here.
Exactly. Because
ODM is not here, but somebody who claims to represent them is actually out of ODM.
Is actually representing Linda Mwananchi.
But don't you see how bad this thing looks?
So it is actually bad. It is the entire confusion inside that ecosystem. But there is a question. There is a question, Jagero, you need to ask yourself.
Yes.
And the question. Yeah. And the question is this. Then when he wakes up, he has to speak. So a bigger question you must ask yourself, Jagero, is are some of these people interested in being president or being presidential candidate? Because from where I sit, I think Kalonzo Musyoka is more interested in being presidential candidate than necessarily being president. Because you look at it, Azimio has a constitution. And the Azimio constitution reads that the party leader will be the presidential candidate.
Is ODM still a member of Azimio?
So as it stands today, it is. It is officially. They have never.
But they are not there.
They have never withdrawn. And that's what I'm telling you.
But they are not there. They are there. I don't know.
That is why Karoli Omondi stands there.
Yeah.
That's why Karoli Omondi is there, because he must represent a political party. That party that puts him there is ODM. And now, what?
But he said ODM is dead.
Even Kalonzo said Azimio is dead. Politicians say many things, Jagero.
Oh my goodness.
Kalonzo Musyoka himself is on record to having said Azimio is actually dead. And all the political parties, more or less all of them, actually came out of Azimio, including the Jubilee Party.
All right.
And I have not seen any process that has formally taken Jubilee back to Azimio. But that's a question of another day. The reality here is that Azimio as a party, the constitution says that the party leader is the presidential candidate. And by that fact alone, that means Kalonzo is the automatic presidential candidate.
Okay.
That leaves Matiang'i out and everyone else. So what they are trying to do here is to try and see whether they can consolidate enough numbers and a mass that they can go ahead even without Rigathi Gachagua. And that is what is proving very, very difficult. Yeah, and they are getting late in their organizational structure, because less than a year to the election, you are still dealing with structure and not votes. That's dangerous.
But you see, now a lot of people have drawn parallels around the opposition that we have today. I don't know, but we were not really seeing the 2002 games for what it was, because first we were young, and there was no social media, and they were not going live.
Yes.
In 2002.
Yes.
But I don't think it was this confused, because I think people somebody in 2002 we had Kibaki who could call these people to order, or Raila Odinga who could call them to order. Nyachai was old enough and wise enough to call everybody to order, even though he left his coat in Uhuru Park, when he was disappointed. But I think once he left and went home, he never came back.
Yes.
You see, but 20, almost 30 years later,
yes,
into 2026, we are seeing such magnitude of confusion in display, and they would say that they are cordial amongst each other, because you don't see Rigathi Gachagua throwing anything against anybody. However stupid you look in public, or you look on Citizen TV, they will be so quiet, and they will not, because it is so fragile, and everybody in this united opposition, Azimio, Sifuna, Linda Mwananchi, they are all confused and walking on eggshells, and nobody's telling them, look, dude, make up your mind. And this is, I think the people of Kenya lose big time when this is going on.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, Jagero, all those politicians are more interested in their selfish ambition than the rest of the country. And that's why it is difficult to come up with any decision. Because at the end of the day, the country does not come first. The people do not come first. It's their interest and their politics that comes first. So Honorable Kalonzo is looking at, if this is the last stab, can he be presidential candidate now? Not necessarily can he even win. Can he be presidential candidate now?
And, so and why does he want so bad to be? Because 14 years ago,
yes,
Kalonzo Musyoka actually had a dinner where he collected 40 million.
Yeah.
And then 14 years later, he actually held another dinner for presidential campaign and collected 20. And then went to Masai Land to eat nyama with it.
Yes. So the issue is, actually Joachim gave it a lower figure. But now my point is not about the figures. My point is that his interest is more about, I am the oldest now. There is no Raila, and after Raila, I believe by age and by experience, it should be me to run. That is his interest. When you look at Honorable Fred Matiang'i, is looking at, I must be the one. Why? Because I have stand a chance to be Kisii kingpin. And if I don't run for president, I cannot be the kingpin of the Kisii community. So it's not about how I will win the presidency. It's about, can I run so that then I remain as kingpin. When you look at the other candidates, Rigathi Gachagua, it is the same script. In reality, Jagero, these people, all of them, when you keenly look at their body language in all those opposition leaders, they are more comfortable with President Ruto winning another term than one of them winning.
So
because at the end of the day, they know that President Ruto will come in and do 5 years and leave. But any of them will then do for 10 years. And then now you look at people like, you can't just be waking up and talking. You are a secretary general. You must have some decorum. You must have decorum.
33 minutes.
Yeah, but you are on phone. Assuming so. Even assuming so. Exactly. Yeah, you can't just wake up.
In 1 minute,
it is not a it's not a den. So in finishing, Jagero, all these people in the opposition are not interested in the welfare of the country. They are more interested in their selfish political ambition and how they can move it to the next level. And that's why when you realize most of their meetings are not based on an agenda about Kenyans and how they will transform the country. Most of their meetings are about sharing positions and who has now joined Azimio and all that. They are not meeting to say this is our policy on agriculture. They are not meeting to say this is our policy on devolution. They are not meeting to say this is about our foreign policy. No, they are meeting to say now this one has joined us and this one is now a council member. This one is now the Secretary General. So it's more about sharing of their positions as politicians than the rest of the country. Because it has become tenably difficult in Kenya today to run a campaign against President Ruto on an agenda. So I can now give it to Joachim.
But
his 33 minutes begin now.
I don't want to speak.
Joachim, first, I want to ask you about your great-great-grandfather, Kalonzo Musyoka. What JB Muturi, did you see his body language today? I don't know if you've seen that press.
What wanakaa wamechoka na maisha.
They are very tired.
They are not inspiring hope.
Exactly.
Not confidence. Wako tu, just like Azimio.
They are averagely 65 years.
Whenever you hear about Azimio, mimi nachoka tu. Sasa wanakuja kutuambia nini? You know, they formed Azimio to get power, to make Raila Odinga the president of Kenya. And it failed. And when it failed, hatujaona anything else that Azimio can now come and tell us they are going to do. They don't have an agenda, as Mundalo has been saying. Enye inaweza sema now they are bringing hope. You know, like Linda Mwananchi, at least they have an agenda of the preamble of the constitution, rule of law. DCP wanasikiza ground. Hawa watu wengine kila mtu wako na tu agenda yenye wako nayo, but Azimio doesn't have an agenda. And as Kenyans also like new things. I think what they should do is maybe waeke some other branding, waeke jina ingine mpya, waeke colors ingine mpya.
They have actually said that they are rebranding it.
Yes, they should do that, but now hata na hiyo energy I make.
They should rebrand the people first.
Then energy kuchini.
The energy ileti.
Yeah, I see they're all men. You have seen that photo of the men, 65 years old, all of them.
Except Charity.
Charity is how old?
I'm saying they're old men except
Charity should be 70 something.
Yeah, who is that lady?
Which one?
There's a lady there.
That is Kawira Mwangaza.
Kawira.
Oh, that's Kawira Mwangaza. Yeah. Okay, but this guy is who?
Let me see.
This one.
Is in that Philip Kisia.
He's what you forget is that he's actually the executive director of Azimio. That is how badly Azimio is doing. You don't even know it's executive director.
Philip Kisia.
Yes.
The one mwenye anakuanga na Jared
tunakutana pale 3D.
Yes. In the changes that they made when they made Karoli Secretary General, they also made Philip Kisia executive director, replacing Raphael.
But where are they? There is Azimio headquarter.
Azimio doesn't have a headquarter.
That must be SKM.
This is SKM, Huko kwa Kalonzo.
Yeah.
And Peter Munya, right? That's Peter Munya.
Yeah. PNU. So what PNU? So what's the political value today of PNU, for instance? That's why I said most of them, when you look at, apart from ego maintenance, what's the political reality of value? I can only attach it to Kawira Mwangaza because I don't think you can really ignore her significance in Meru politics. Yeah.
This is really interesting and I don't know, it sounds really bad when
actually
you look
someone is commenting here very well and saying Azimio should rebrand to Linda Mwananchi.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're insisting on having it.
Yeah.
The star of Kalonzo started dimming when Sifuna rose. But I don't think it started dimming. It was just not there from the beginning. Wanajaribu highlight.
Yeah, there is a video that I'm looking for here, but I'm not seeing, where Mr. Oparanya is talking at Citizen.
That's not Citizen.
That was KBC. That is KBC. Yes. Could we have that video? Because I think I sent it to you guys.
In a grey suit.
Yes, in a grey suit. Can you please get it for me? Because I don't see it.
I am very tired.
You're very tired.
Yes.
Yes, I can imagine. But those are the people that you have to work with to uproot President Ruto. How do you feel about that?
I'm just tired.
Why are you tired?
So you people ask us, oh, why are you joining there? Oh, so why are you not with
You've seen it on KBC, eh? It's there.
So unataka tukue tunaruka, huyu akikaa ako popular tunaruka.
Because we expected to see you and your party leader at the Azimio headquarters.
Doing what? Eh?
On that one I agree with Joaquin.
For sure. For sure.
Tuseme we are admitting DPK back. Ama tunaenda kusema nini?
You found it? Yeah, but we
there's someone calling me a goon.
Yeah. But I told them that Joaquim was joking kwa sababu ya njaa alipewa pesa once.
Ilikuwa njaa.
Yes.
Kuna goon hapo. Wamewahi kutana na goon watu.
Wewe ni goon wa Kristo.
Yes. The moment they will meet a goon, they will
But anyway, you can play for us the one for Kalonzo. Then as you get that one of Oparanya. That one of Oparanya is very important because we need to play it. He was speaking at,
What did he say on KBC?
He was saying old men in Western, old people are with him, the younger ones are with this fool. Before hata tusikize Oparanya.
Okay, choka.
Did you listen to Kenneth Lusaka?
No, what did he say?
Today.
No, what did he say? What did he say?
Tuko na shida. Tuko na shida.
ama umeogopa unataka kwenda kusangwenya
hii. I did not want to say. No, I cannot do that. Because nilimsikia akisema ati Ruto amefanya.
Okay.
Na ameangalia jikoni akaona chapati inapikwa. Sema chapati ikipikwa lazima ipenduliwe pande mbili.
Yes.
To him that represents 2 term.
Okay.
So I was wondering. Huyu jamaa angetumia example ingine.
You know, Kenneth Lusaka is a very vile person. There's a time I heard him saying that how can Sifuna come and say he wants to be president? Hana pesa, hana sisi hata hatuwezi mchangia, sijui nini. Kuongea tu vibaya kwa Kibukusu. Kibukusu sana, but the part that nilisikia it was bad.
You understand Kibukusu?
Small.
Small
part.
He was talking about against, but what is he saying about against Sifuna right now? Sifuna has anyway, let's go to the conversation because what is going
Why did you even call me here? I'm not saying anything I should say.
You?
Yes.
No, you have elected not to say anything because you look bad when you say the truth.
No, these are not the things that you call me, Bwana. If I knew these are the things we are going to talk about.
I know you are disappointed because tumekulima.
No. No, imagine.
I know your disappointment, lazima you have to go and restructure yourself of how you are going to be going about this campaign. Because first of all, we are not happy with the way you guys are not. When is the last time you guys gave a press conference?
To do what?
I mean
Kalonzo gives a press conference.
Your other party leader goes live 6 times a day.
Which one?
Mr. Wamunyoro.
Sasa, I stopped you from calling people my other party.
That is fine. But let's go this. And I think this guy there is a problem there is something going on with ODM.
Yeah.
And ODM actually wants to front a presidential candidate, a deputy presidential candidate, in the name of Oparanya.
Yeah.
Because suddenly I think that they want it to be their biggest bargaining chip.
Yeah.
It looks like ODM has what is going on at ODM? Why do you think that they can only be relevant if they front a deputy presidential candidate?
I think politics is also expressed through positions.
Yeah.
But you can't run away from the fact that a political positioning is very, very important. And that's why when people go into a coalition, for instance, when you have cabinet secretaries, those cabinet secretaries represent something. When Raila Odinga joins government, you see him saying he wants to be the cabinet secretary of energy and all that, and these ministers. So the political arrangement ahead of 2027, there are 2 major players in reality, and that would be UDA and ODM. Remember, ANC is already a folded political party, and therefore it joined UDA. So the question that arises is, if we are going into a coalition, then we must share the positions and the power. Meaning, if UDA is presenting the presidential candidate, it is only fair that then ODM, which becomes the second most dominant coalition partner, presents the deputy. And so the burden ODM has is to then identify who is the right person to be deputy. Okay. And that person must be cross-cutting. He must be a person who does not just come out from his tribal perspective, but he can actually carry the hopes and aspirations of ODM supporters that are not necessarily fixated in one region. And I think that is the thinking behind why they feel like Oparanya, having been the deputy party leader of ODM, can carry that. Because when you go to Western Kenya, the reality is that most people from Western Kenya, especially when you start from Kakamega, up to today, Oparanya has still influenced who becomes the governor of Kakamega. The people of Western see Oparanya from the lens of a performer. They do not necessarily see him from the lens of a kingpin. And he has never even struggled to be one. Unlike his counterparts on the other side, who have always been seen more from the perspective of the people who want to be kingpins, but not necessarily for any benefit of anybody. When you look at Oparanya, most people, one from Western, see him as a performer. When you go to Bungoma, someone would want to argue and tell you that why can't you perform like Oparanya performed in Kakamega? There is that. 2, The national perspective and appeal is that this gentleman is the one who birthed the Vision 2030. Then when he was Minister of Planning, there is something to sell about Oparanya. 3, he's not a very controversial figure that you can be able to peg a lot of animosity on. And therefore, he is someone who can actually be able to sell to the ODM strongholds, especially when those leaders of those strongholds back them up. When Joho backs the Oparanya candidature, it becomes strong in the coast region. When the other leaders from Luo Nyanza back Oparanya, it still can be able to sell. He is seen differently from the others. And I think that's the reason why there is a feeling that this can actually be the candidate. And also it's about numbers, Jagero, because again it's politics and it's a question of numbers. So who can actually marshal up numbers? And that's why I think Professor Kindiki is getting it a bit hard, because immediately after Ol Kalou, we can only count his votes at most at 1.3 million votes.
But do you
and
think
that's the total number?
Commercial up numbers?
And that's where I'm coming to. And that is the total number of registered voters in Mount Kenya East. It becomes 1.3. Kakamega County alone has 800,000 votes as a county alone. That's a county that Oparanya really commands. Oparanya has a footing, a very solid footing in that county. That's why up to today, people running for office in that region still want to gravitate towards Oparanya. Even Cleophas Malala of DCP, because he was running for governor, you saw him recently trying to want to portray to the people that he's actually in good books with Oparanya. And that's why he went and had a meeting with him. Now, when you gravitate these numbers into the larger fray of now the Western Bloc, he can actually have some infiltration. Why? Because again, people of Western Kenya, they more or less love tried and tested hands. They are very careful about newness, if history is anything to go by. Look at the kind of members of parliament that we have. It is very few that are off the grain, like Didmas Baraza, for instance. But when you look at most of the members of parliament, most elected people in the Western region, they carry an image of preservation. And so Western responds better and more to people who are more preservative, people who are more contained. Youthful exuberance is something that does not really excite a lot in that belt. So you can be able to count his numbers in that regard, that he can actually have that wane and he can rein in like that. And then when you look at the Luo Nyanza side, he does not pose as a big threat to them. One, because of his age. And 2, because of his political history. He does not more or less come out as a person the other side of Luo Nyanza looks at and feels like he will come stumbling upon us. He will come being in charge of us. He is not a Jack Wamboka that someone would be able to say, no, this guy, he's too powerful and he's too endearing to the people. I don't see him feel like he can actually endear still to the other side. So I feel in terms of the numbers, he has capacity to manage numbers than Professor Kindiki. And also the professionals, of course, just the professionals who believe in the vision and all that kind of thing. I think he has, and I think that's where the professor is finding. I think the professor's problems started in Ol Kalou.
Okay, Vast, what do you think about Ruto? And I'm going to go back to Mr. Mundalo about the thinking of Ruto right now. What do you think about Oparanya? Do you think that the lawyers are going to abandon their son Sifuna and give him 1.5 million votes? Should he become because we might have Wanjigi being the presidential candidate deputized by Sifuna, or it can flip. So Sifuna might be a presidential candidate or a deputy presidential candidate.
Anyway.
Yes. That's what the truth does.
Yes, the truth does.
I'm trying to think. Can Oparanya actually rally people of Kakamega behind him? Oparanya is a Marama. Kisas and Maramas, we speak almost the same language. I can understand when Maramas speak. So tunaweza sema si ni majirani. But in terms of having votes or numbers in Kakamega, I don't think he can actually rally up a lot of people right now. As Mundalo has said, Oparanya is a performer. When he was the governor of Kakamega, he did a lot to actually elevate Kakamega County. So in that regards, wacha tumpe his praises because he deserves that. But politics is also about emotions. And right now, the emotions are not with him. He does not inspire a lot of hope, a lot of confidence right now. Nimekuwa nikifikiria mambo ya Oparanya juzi, and I thought it is very unfortunate for someone like him to experience the things that he's experiencing now, because when people talk about Oparanya, wanamweka na broad-based government, and the kind of CV that the broad-based government has, si CV mzuri. So everyone thinks of him like just a useless person, but he's not useless. So I don't think he can marshal up a lot of numbers in Kakamega right now. Kwa sababu wanaongea na my family, my ancestral home is in Kakamega. Okay. Now they don't have very good things to say in terms of supporting him when it comes to the deputy president position come 2027. As a performer, yes, alifanya vitu mzuri. It's just like Kimani Ichung'wah. Amefanya vitu mingi Kikuyu. Lakini when it comes to voting for him again, watu wanasema yes, amefanya vizuri, lakini hafuati rigiji, haleti shangwe. So
you want the people of those people want him to follow Sifuna?
Yeah, saizi ground iko na Sifuna. Watu wenye wanapenda Sifuna wanataka aende huko, lakini sasa yeye amekatalia huko kwingine. So and I also think it's good wamemweka kama.
Mbona amekatalia huko?
Mimi sijui kwa nini amekatalia huko. Yeye na kina Atuoli wamekatalia huko kwa maybe huko kuna pesa mingi. But anyway,
they're just seeing looking at Sifuna and saying no, we have been here for a long time. We don't think it's going to amount to anything.
And again, Jagero, context really matters. Okay. Especially in that regard. You must be able to understand that when you talk about the people and following Sifuna, we're talking about a momentous thing. We're not talking about something that has been like this since last year. We are not saying, he's not a Raila Odinga that had people who are solidly behind him every day. And that's why today you cannot be able to say there is a support group that he has that he can take them any direction like Raila used to. Yeah. Raila would go to government with his people. So the question is, can Sifuna, if supposing Sifuna moves the other side, can he move with the people? And my answer is no.
Even Gachagua cannot move with people because if he moves today.
He has more capacity too than Sifuna. Because his support base is a worked on thing. It is not euphoria. It's not a euphoric kind of thing. And what I'm telling you, context matters, is if the united opposition joins hands and presents Sifuna as the presidential candidate, then there is nothing you achieve by making Oparanya deputy. Because then these people of the western region will have, you can't sell a deputy to them when they have the option of the president.
Yes.
Especially when the president is a candidate that is surrounded by the entire, it's called a realistic chance of a win. Because we have many people run for president, but the realistic chance of a win. In the event the entire united opposition rallies behind Sifuna, then I'm sure as the sun will rise tomorrow from the east that President Ruto will then not have Oparanya as deputy. Because then these people will prefer a full loaf than half a loaf. But in the event that the united opposition rallies behind someone else, and Sifuna runs alone, and then Oparanya is the Ruto's deputy, okay, then Oparanya will actually rally more support in the region than Sifuna. Why? Because there will be a realistic chance of Oparanya than there is for Sifuna. So they will want to divide and say, okay, fine, this is our son, he is coming, he has a chance for the future, let him run. Okay. We will support him pale mbele. Tutapea kidogo, then we will support him pale mbele. But in the event now they are saying Oparanya, remember at the end of the day, Jagero, incumbency has its advantages. And one fact that we all know is that even when you walk around the streets, in fact not just around the streets, even the leaders of opposition themselves have kept saying that defeating President Ruto is difficult. Yeah. It is them who have kept saying. That means they know that the person who has the highest chance of actually getting back is actually President Ruto, even by ranking of opinion poll. So when these people feel like Oparanya is being given that opportunity, they see a realistic chance.
But right now,
when Sifuna is given the flag bearer of the united opposition, there is also a realistic chance. And when those two chances are realistic, they will prefer full loaf to half a loaf. But in the event the united opposition presents Kalonzo and probably Matiang'i as a running mate, and Sifuna goes it alone, then trust me, Oparanya will actually assemble those numbers.
Yeah, but as of right now, Oparanya is looking more like a traitor than anything, because they have been talking about Luya unity for a very long time. Him and his friend Atwoli and the rest, they have been talking about Luya unity. But now,
so it is in as far as Luya unity. Talk to me about Luya unity then. What is are they united? So the only outliers right now is Atwoli and Oparanya.
And Kinalusaka.
And that is what I was telling you, Jagero, that there's the danger that we are starting to gravitate the country towards this element of, instead of people arguing on the basis of what they want to do, they think those ones who don't agree with them are then called names, that now they are enemies of the community. It's now gravitating from just Mount Kenya politics to now what she's talking about, that now you want, because Oparanya is reading from a different script, instead of persuading him, we want to call him a traitor. And that is a dangerous way that now we want to take the politics, which is extremely dangerous.
Yes.
Remember,
they want to smoke Oparanya from under the bed.
Yeah, just because just because you are politically excited for the moment. Yeah? The political excitement is for the moment. And that's why people want to milk this moment with everything. I see when you go to TikTok today, most of the content creators from the Western region, their content is around Sifuna this, Sifuna that. Because it's the excitement for the moment. Now, most experienced politicians know that such moments come and go. So you would know that there are people who will sit and be cautious. And they want to ask deeper questions like, what is the reason? Why should we be there? What are we selling? What is our agenda? And that is what they are not seeing. So they will not move with clout, because this clout is like saying Kisses needed to rally behind Morara when he was the one with the clout.
Yeah, but now he's gone back to his grandfather essentially.
Exactly. So you don't expect experienced people to operate with the political excitement. They will operate with the political depth, because those people, they carry real support that is not euphoric. I can be able to assure you, Jagero, that if you called an election tomorrow and you'll be shocked how many votes that gentleman will get. Why? Because he's a depth politician. He's been there for a while. He has people who believe in him for who he is, and he can carry them to government and he can carry them out of government. That's how strong such people are. But when you are a euphoric leader, you have people who are with you not because they believe in you, but because you represent the hope that they want to have. So when that hope moves away from you, they will again get to the next person who will have the euphoria. So it's not about you. It's about what you represent. And to me, our brother represents something, that there is someone who wants newness. So you represent that.
Okay.
When you move away from that, someone else represents it. That's why euphoria has always moved. It came from Peter Kenneth. It went to another person. This election, it came to Matiang'i. You remember at some point, we thought Maraga would become president because he was the one with the euphoria. At some point, we again thought it will be Okiya Omtatah. He had it until he even commissioned and gazetted a team. It got into his head. He commissioned a team and all that because there was the euphoria at that time. So he forgot that it's not him they believed in. It is what he represented that they believed in. And that is what Sifuna today has. It's not like he has the people. It is what he represents.
Okay,
and then he moves away from it.
I'm going to ask you then is that let's come to Sifuna and Linda Mwananchi and the united opposition. What do you think? What must Sifuna do for him to be the flag bearer of the united opposition? Do you think they're going to give it to him?
I highly doubt.
What are the reasons for your doubt?
Because the united opposition is composed of people who want to retain status quo.
Okay.
And these are old guard politicians that are going to still thinking that you can hang on to Azimio.
Okay.
And so when you get into a boardroom with them, they are more likely to choose one of their own, one person who looks like them, than someone who in their head would be peripheral. I see them more comfortable with a person they would want to control, a person who reasons like them, the Kalonzos of this world and that kind of thing. They would want to start arguments like you are young. You see those Wazee's arguments that you are young, you are inexperienced, you don't have enough money. Those things that Kenyans feel are very unreasonable demands are what would play out in a boardroom conversation.
But by the way,
and in the boardroom, that is where he will. Yeah, he will lose. What was he saying? He will lose it at boardroom level.
He was saying, Walimuliza about Sifuna, and he said Sifuna is a good
young man. Exactly. When the description is like that, that is where that's where they put him. And also remember, these people feel like they can't touch Sifuna's numbers. They can't touch them. Because when they look at Rigathi, these people want to count your numbers in terms of tribes. It's the old-fashioned model of politics.
Okay, that is all right.
Yeah, so when they look at Kalonzo, they count about 2-point-something million votes.
Okay.
When they look at Rigathi, they count about 4 million. Though when you give it to himself, he says 7. When they look at Sifuna, they can't place those numbers in their hands.
Okay.
Because they would argue that you represent Western, but you are a senator of Nairobi. Where are these numbers? Where have they ever been tried?
Yeah.
Where have they been tested?
So it's a dark place for them. They can only see it. They can only hear. It is just ringing in the head. But where are they?
Where are they? Because we have had, and that's why I've kept arguing even on this show, that it would have been prudent for Sifuna to participate in by-elections. He would be having tangible things to talk about, so that you can be able to say.
Probably would be afraid to do that, because my thinking is when you talk about Gen Z in Mount Kenya, and Gachagua is saying, are they really yours?
Exactly.
Or they are mine?
And that's why there was a very brilliant move, and I think it was done by Kangata, but Rigiji saw it quickly.
Okay.
When Linda Mwananchi wanted to go to Nyandarua ahead of the Ol Kalou by-election, that was a very brilliant move. Whoever had advised Linda Mwananchi to do that was extremely strategic. Why? Because in the event Linda Mwananchi had gone to Nyandarua, and then the Ol Kalou win happens, and they were the last visitors of Nyandarua, it would be attributed to them.
Yes.
But Rigiji, which I say sometimes he takes the right, I always say that every class of political science that he did not skip, he might have done very well. He knew that, and that's why he quickly blocked Kangata from going to, he called it Kangata, but he actually blocked Linda Mwananchi from going to Ol Kalou, so that credit is not shared credit. So that when Rigiji goes to the table, one of the proving points he's putting on the table to show that he's in charge of the mountain is the Ol Kalou by-election. But then now, as Sifuna, what do you put on the table? Because even the by-elections in Kakamega, where opposition won, it was DCP that won them. So it becomes a very difficult issue, because on that table, Jagero, you must argue using things that can be verified and proven. And that's why it's very important for him to have that, if he must be the candidate. I actually even don't see how they can make him a candidate. The only way for Sifuna to be candidate in the coming election is to be an independent candidate of Linda Mwananchi and go it alone, in my view.
But we are coming to, I don't know if you agree, but let's come back to that. What are they likely to give him when they go into that boardroom and Sifuna is saying, Mimi pesa sina, Mimi siwezi, I've not counted my people.
Yes.
Mimi sijui.
Yes.
But I mean, they suspect that something is there. There is something there.
Yes.
So what do you think they give him? Deputy president?
When he's extremely lucky, then he will land the deputy president position. Then that's when he is extremely lucky. But under normal, ordinary circumstances, they will offer him the speaker of the National Assembly.
Vashti, what do you think that he's just about right?
I think he's right, because going by Nishasema Saizi, Gachagua was saying he's mentoring Sifuna, but
he's comparing him with Methu.
Yeah, he's comparing Sifuna with Methu, even though they are both.
So he thinks that Methu is Sifuna.
No, he
Sifuna
wants
is
Sifuna.
Methu.
He wants Sifuna to be Methu. he does not think, because now Sifuna has hiyo euphoria yenye tumesema, but now because he does not want to acknowledge what Sifuna has, andaka ikue you are just a boy there doing stuff. Yes, we acknowledge you are doing stuff, which is good, but
then do you think that they can tell Sifuna hapana, wewe kama utaki chenye tunakupatia sisi tunakupatia listen Sifuna
wow, even before they went to
and that's when he's extremely lucky. I want you to think
was saying they will support Sifuna to be the deputy president. Hapo wamemsupport kabisa, and Malala is a deputy party leader in DCP.
Alisemaje?
He was in Kakamega speaking just a few weeks ago, and he was saying he is supporting Sifuna to be the deputy president. Hapo wako sawa. Hapo kwa president bado ni mdogo kidogo.
Okay. Think about the political reality, Jagero, and let me put you to that room.
Okay.
This room decides that Kalonzo is the flag bearer.
All right.
Okay. When they decide that Kalonzo is the flag bearer, this is about 2.5 million votes.
Okay.
That Kalonzo comes with. Okay. So he needs another solid block of votes. Where do you think that solid block of votes can come from? That is sure, verified and tested.
Mount Kenya.
Mount Kenya. Now, in the event you agree with me that will be Mount Kenya, then it makes Mount Kenya compulsorily to have the deputy. And that's why I told you that he would be extremely lucky to be given that deputy. But in under ordinary realistic circumstances, he will actually drop down to speaker, and that is in the unrealistic event that this united opposition is really
the question that a lot
very,
of people are
very
also not answering is that, you know, if Rigiji claims that he has got more than 4 million votes, how can he give you 4 million votes without a deputy?
No, he will not. He must be able to go to that table, because remember, there is no realistic chance that Rigiji will be running.
Okay.
And in that event, it only makes him trust one more person, in my view, in that opposition. I think he can only trust Kalonzo for two reasons why Rigiji can trust Kalonzo.
Okay.
One, it is Kalonzo's demeanor. Kalonzo does not come out as someone who can really be in charge of Rigiji. Rigiji feels like he can be more in charge of Kalonzo.
Yeah.
So he feels like when he has him as president, he is more or less almost the one who is president. Two, Kalonzo comes with a political disadvantage in terms of numbers.
Okay.
One, he comes with about 2.5 million votes.
All right.
And two, the number of parliamentarians. He only comes with 3 counties. Rigathi comes with how many counties and how many MPs. So he can't stand to be a rude president to Rigiji, because in that event, even his things cannot pass in parliament. He needs him. He will need him. And that's why he would be more inclined towards Kalonzo, because he would come up as a president who must need him. But in the event you have Sifuna, Sifuna might not need him, because one, Sifuna, when he is the presidential candidate, the number of votes will be high. And two, he will have enough members of parliament, because count across, even if you gave him Western alone, those are, Bungoma alone is 9 MPs, Kakamega is 12. So he'll have a sizable number of members of parliament. And Linda Mwananchi has quite a significant brand as a national outfit. So his MPs will not just be about Western. So he will not be a president you can bully. He'll not be a president that you can call a press conference and he will get scared.
But even the person he is.
And even in his person, the demeanor.
Person he is, he does, he does not take prisoners of anybody.
And Rigathi has seen before that Rigathi can, that Sifuna can disagree with the whole party. He has seen it, that he can actually disagree with an entire political party and stand alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even go to court about it and fight it over.
And get out.
He does not want that kind of person. And that's why the only realistic chance, if you put it to a boardroom, is that when they give Kalonzo, then Rigathi Gachagua will be more than willing and comfortable to have Methu as the deputy president.
Methu?
Yes.
And then they allow Sifuna to run solo, hoping that he will be number 3.
Yeah, Sifuna should actually, in my view, if I was sitting in a
him to join them. I feel like they will get trip. Wamwambie kwani utaki Ruto aende? We are now the head of the opposition. You have to join us.
They will gaslight him.
Yeah, watamugaslight mpaka wa join.
They will now call him a traitor.
And Gachagua has a
He will now be the new traitor.
Agree with him, a traitor. He called Matiang'i last year a traitor because he was not joining the United Opposition rallies.
Okay.
He called Jeremiah Kioni at some point this year a traitor.
So in the event all these people gang up and they are together, it will be difficult, and I agree with Vash that it will then be difficult for Sifuna, because then it will look like the only one giving this thing a problem is him, and then they will guilt trip him and want to give him the new tag of a traitor, because their fashion of politics is that anyone who disagrees with us, we brand him. So they brand you a traitor and move with it, and move it with speed. And remember, they have the money to do it.
After Bungoma, they have been trying to label him as the Western kingpin.
Yeah, so, not a national leader.
Yeah, but they wanajaribu wanasema Sifuna from Western.
Yeah.
Lakini hata Sifuna anakataa. And if he's not careful, abaki kuwa Western leader like
they have succeeded, because Jagero, even on this show, you are discussing Sifuna from the Western lens. So they have removed, they are really trying to remove Sifuna from being a national figure.
But it is difficult for us to place him there because there is Oparanya there.
And that's what I'm telling you.
And there is Ambuera.
And that's what I'm telling you. When it comes to real political support, people like Oparanya cannot be wished
Somebody
away.
saying Gachagua has no shame, he will insult Sifuna.
Yes, he will. Just the other day he was insulting Kangata, saying Kangata is a traitor.
Yeah. But as a person from Bungoma like Sifuna,
the clothes will be out.
Yeah.
At the moment they realize, okay, we have taken this bend towards the finishing line, and Sifuna is out.
Yeah.
Okay, but then the other thing is,
and that's why I get so angry with Sifuna sometimes.
Why?
Anaenda kwa ni kama hataki kitu, anataka tumbembeleze. You can feel the people who want power in this country.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ruto and Gachagua, they are very serious.
They are not joking.
They are very serious.
Sifuna does not look like someone who wants power, because you can always see someone who wants power can do anything to win it. Gachagua unaweza ona he can do anything to win power.
Yes.
Ruto the same. But Sifuna is just going.
So, but then
this would be my advice if I was seated somewhere with Sifuna.
Yes. I'm gonna allow you to give you an advice, but let's push it. Let's push it towards that wall where everyone else want to go.
Yeah.
Okay. They have left out Sifuna, and they have branded him a traitor.
Yeah.
But he goes away with a considerable number of people, especially the young people that believe in him. And I also believe that other old people who are millennials also believe in him.
Yeah.
So they are tired of Rigathi Gachagua coming back, Rigathi Gachagua and Kalonzo, and his project Kalonzo Musyoka.
Yes.
They're also tied with Ruto, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Okay? And then Sifuna goes his own way. Sifuna becomes, what happens to Sifuna? Does he become number 3 or number 1 or number 2?
He becomes number 3, because one thing, Jagero, is that immediately that happens.
Okay.
One of the biggest leverages that Sifuna has is social media.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, when you look at this social media arithmetic as it's composed and how it looks like, it is heavily supported, not more from the Westerners, but more from the Mountainers.
Okay.
Okay. So on the day that he has decided that they don't want to support him, now that weight of social media diminishes immediately.
Okay.
The people who push him hard, because what makes him mostly is social media. So when that is killed, and 2, the mainstream media, which is again owned by the other side.
Okay.
So suddenly you will not have enough clickbaits, Jagero, to be playing here about what he said. Because the media can make you. The media can make you rise up. Because it's simply about presenting you to the people every other time and creating narratives around you that make you look big. Now, in the event you are not working with system owners, they drop that. So you stop getting those advantages that were making you run very, very fast.
So you appear less at the explainer.
Exactly.
You don't appear at all.
Oh, you don't appear at all.
Yes.
Political headache stops discussing you.
Yeah. So when that value, when the political value goes down, that is how he also diminishes. And that's why he has to really do a lot of work in terms of making decisions quickly, when these things have not yet been taken away, so that by the time someone wants to do it, he's already too far. For instance, if he is to declare early that he's already running, and start galvanizing people, like if these rallies are now about him as a candidate, so that by the time you want to make a decision that is either way, he has now started gravitating and he has some solid support base.
Because then,
so
when he keeps dilly-dallying on the explainer, that this is Edwin Sifuna, people are saying, okay, probably he's still having conversation with Rigathi Gachagua, and so on and so forth. So by the time he jumps out, he's saying that sisi kijana tulimwambia kuje atusaidie sisi kutoa Kasongo.
Akakataa na yeye hakuwa amesema mapema. So that will become the conversation. But the truth is that he has a very, you see, in life always presents people with opportunities. And we cannot, and I can't run away from the fact that life has presented Sifuna with quite an opportunity and some favor that comes with it. Because the truth is, when you ask people on the street, even as I was in Western, if you want someone to get very annoyed, push them with the question of why exactly they want Sifuna. Because the fact that they don't have the answer annoys them so much.
We saw that yesterday here. Somebody was
really annoys them. Because when you really push them and ask them, okay, fine. You want to call people traitors because they're not here. But what is the reason exactly? They actually don't have it. And sometimes it happens because, one, it's favor, and it's a moment, and it's an opportunity. And sometimes when countries are experiencing moments when they want to have a transition, countries get into experimental mode. And I feel like Sifuna is one of those products of an experimental mode in Kenyan politics today. There is a country that voted and had a DJ as their president. Another country had Bola as their president.
So we have the Ukrainian president who was a comedian and is now going through war for the last 4 years.
Those are usually the transitional moments, and countries can make any random decision. But Sifuna stands at a place where he can actually benefit from such kind of things.
Let me push it. Sifuna becomes a close number 3. Rigathi has called him a traitor, but he has to go back to him. Right?
Okay.
Because he needs to be somewhere. He's joining either Project Kalonzo.
No, in my view, is that in the event he runs to the end, he'll have one assignment: to ensure that he's a solid candidate. Because running is one thing, Jagero. Being a solid candidate is another.
What is a solid candidate?
A solid candidate is a discussable candidate. For instance, the last election had several candidates. Okay? There's actually a person from Western who has always run for president. It's called Nicholas Kukubo. But he has even never made it to just being called a candidate of the Bukusu. He has even
so he gets Anyona. Do you remember Anyona? Kura moja.
So the guy, you are running, yes, but you don't make it to conversation. You are just another candidate. So Sifuna, in the event he runs, he has to ensure that he's not just another candidate. He must be a discussable candidate. So he has to marshal some resources to put up a serious campaign, because it will come with a very good advantage at the end of it. Because in the event he mobilizes and gets good numbers and becomes a solid number 3 with about 1 million votes, or maybe between 1 million or 2 million votes, or slightly less, that would be a solid candidate. Now, in the event he becomes that solid candidate, he will automatically become the kingpin of the lawyers who have not had a king for a while now. It has always gravitated towards, is it Musalia, is it whatever. But in the event he is the one who has run, and he has marshaled enough numbers that make him a serious candidate, and yet Musalia was inside UDA, and Wetangula was also inside another outfit, then the significant lawyer on the ballot becomes him. And therefore, with those numbers, he can now negotiate with the government that comes. And then now, after the election, 3 months later, he can be on the footsteps of Harambee House, shaking hands with President William Ruto and being offered 2 cabinet slots.
Fair enough. But the people that did not like the duo, but you see now,
but that's after election now.
No. But we are going for a runoff. Remember? What does Sifuna do?
He joins the person likely to win.
Maybe he
and what he does,
the person likely to win.
No. We are having scenarios. Don't get.
We are being politically realistic, not emotional.
No. We are just having scenarios. Which scenario? Okay, discuss your scenario. What is your Okay,
Let's
babes,
present
what
her
is your scenario?
Yeah, let's listen to her.
What is your scenario? Give me a scenario and push it to the end, because I created my scenario and push it all the way to the end.
Okay, give us a.
What is your scenario?
Hii yenyu ni ya kunipea tushika.
Tukupeaje?
But personally as a voter,
okay,
I will say if Nikalonzo na Ruto kwa ballot, I might not vote for a presidential candidate. I might go to vote. Nitaenda ku vote, but voting for a presidential candidate itakuwa ngumu, because this,
if it is
kama Nikalonzo na Ruto peke yake kwa ballot, peke yake.
Okay.
So it means mimi na watu wengine wenye Sifuna tunapenda Sifuna. Tuko wengi. The 8 million people. Hata wewe hauku vote 2022, right?
No, I didn't.
Why did you not vote?
That's a new podcast.
That's a new podcast.
Yeah, the reason why you did not vote kwa sababu watu wote wenye walikuwa hapa hawakuwa na represent anything.
Yeah.
Na 2027
I was away.
No, you just did not want to vote.
No, I was away.
You were playing
Tell
games.
him that away has something called diaspora vote.
Yes, I was away.
He was playing video games.
He was jana na kuanga ujinga sana.
Acha akulinde.
And he was playing video games.
In your own words.
Okay.
Anyway, so me nasema Sifuna has a very large demographic of people who want to vote for him. So I don't know why mnamweka tu ni kama he's the one who's going to lose. Si ndio nimemweka vizuri.
Okay.
He's going to win.
Okay. That is fine. It's been a very beautiful conversation.
Sure.
My thinking is that he might the people that are following him might be very angry that is now telling, because if he's to go to the footsteps of Harambee House and shake hands with Ruto, then he shall have supported him in the runoff.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
But his supporters might not want that.
No, at that level, Jagero, people think differently after an election. And after an election, people want to win. People want a win. So at that level, it would be about what has he negotiated for with this person who is more likely to win. After all, this candidate of ours is not going for the runoff. The runoff is about number 1 and number 2.
Yeah.
Sifuna, remember, is a politician. He is not a man of the clock. So at the end of the day, personal political interest comes first for Sifuna. And he's a brilliant chap. He is not politically naive. And therefore, when you present Sifuna with the option after an election where he has run for president, his instinct is that he wants a situation that makes him president quickly. And the only chance that makes him president quickly is for him to support a president who goes for 5 years, not one who goes for 10.
Ooh, my goodness. that is interesting. It makes Vash so angry. Sorry. That is now the real politics. People of the internet, it's been amazing having you guys here today. Thank you very much for showing up, Mr. Again, my condolences to your loss.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the city, Vash. Thank you very much for being here in the morning and now being here again. Thank you very much. Today I told you, see, you've made the gentleman take off. I told you that's what you do when you come to political headache. You don't. I want to thank Mr. Jontes, who has been on TikTok and on cameras. I want to thank Mr. Frank, who has also been on the deck. People of the internet, you're star of the show always. Thank you very much for coming here with us, talking to us and giving us what you think. Thank you very much. Until another episode, bye for now. All right, people of the internet, I hope that you're enjoying this episode very much. And I just had a break to tell you about my new book. Everybody says that there is no job, and that is true. Also, that was me 10 years ago. The problem is that everybody is trying to get a job in their town, in their city, in their marketplace. They ask friends for jobs, mothers call uncles, uncles call brothers, but there are no jobs. Let me tell you what no one is telling you. Jobs migrated online. What I actually mean is there are many, many jobs around the world and there is no one to do them except you. I work for Americans myself. I work for Europeans. I work for the Chinese. I work for the Australians. I work for the Canadians. And so, because I have done so much for myself, I said to myself, you know what? I should compile what I've been doing for the last 15 years. So in 2024, I wrote a digital book called Goldmine 18 Hustles for Africans. And then in 2025, AI came. People say AI is taking away our jobs. And for me, I'm going to say false. There are actually AI jobs. Jobs are not being taken by AI, but there are new jobs online that are there because of AI. Now, mimi ni nani? I created more jobs. And for now, in my new book, we have 25 online and offline jobs that you can leverage on if you do not have a job. So in this powerful volume 2, I share 25 new actionable online hustles specifically researched and tailored for Africans. My new book provides clear step-by-step guidance drawing from my extensive experience and research, including the mistakes I've made and lessons I've learned over the 15 years that I have worked online. So, what can you do online? You can become an executive assistant for busy folks in Europe, America, Canada, and get paid for tasks like watching videos and taking online surveys. Okay? You can build a lot of things. Build a business as a virtual assistant, start an e-commerce shop without capital, be an affiliate marketer, or you can also become actually an English tutor and tens of AI jobs. If you have a job, that is fine. But I also know that you can buy this book for that brother, for that sister, for that mother, for that cousin, for that husband who is watching Netflix all day at home. Buy it for your friend who is always asking for cash. You know that friend. Now, all the information is on the description below. You can also inbox me, you can WhatsApp me, or go to my website, which is odworjigero.co.ke.